So in December of last year, another pathogenic coronavirus, so it's the novel coronavirus 2019. You might hear it called the Wuhan virus, coronavirus. And it's since that initial identification in December, it's gone on to cause some significant illness and deaths, now affecting multiple countries across the world. The ultimate scope of this, again, like I said, Lynn and I have been updating these slides for the last several days, and it continues. We apologize in advance if folks have questions and we really don't know the answers to them, because frankly the CDC doesn't know yet. And so they're still working on it. January 30th, basically the end of January, the WHO declared it a PHEIC. I saw that abbreviation for the first time. I went back and said, Public Health Emergency of International Concern. It has not yet been declared a pandemic. We'll discuss that a little bit later on in our slides of what we have to have in order for the WHO or the CDC to declare it such. The WHO, the World Health Organization is the WHO. Thank you, Lynn. World Health Organization. So the World Health Organization today stated that basically the corona outbreak has spread from China but does not yet constitute a pandemic. So Lynn and I decided to define what's the difference between an epidemic and a pandemic. An epidemic basically is what we see with seasonal influenza each year. You see a sudden increase in the number of cases in a certain population. A pandemic basically spreads over several countries. It's worldwide, large numbers. The one example that I actually listed was a Spanish flu in 1918. Hundreds of millions of people were infected across the globe. More recent than that, we had a pandemic in 2009, and that was the swine flu. Keep in mind, when you go back, when you look at the 1918 numbers, they're horrific. But they're horrific because, again, this is prior to a flu vaccine. This is prior to antibiotics, prior to modern medicine. So the number of deaths were just staggering in 1918. But keep in mind, the swine flu in 2009 was also categorized as a pandemic. But you have to have certain criteria, and the coronavirus has not met that yet.